Right, thank you for taking time for watching this video that you're about to watch. Now, I'd love you all to subscribe to my channel. Let's get the subscribers up. But one of my favourite and most loyal subscribers is one of my daughters, who she's just made this for me. Look at that. What does it say?
Subscribe to Colin.
So what do you want the people to do?
To subscribe to my daddy.
Good morning, internet, and welcome back to the channel. So today is Friday and it is the 10th of October, and today marks something a little bit special for me, and that is it's exactly 1 year today that I've owned my Himi, the good old Himalayan. 1 year today. And you know what, the weather was just as bad when I bought it. Now I'd love, and the idea was that I would be out by one of the beaches that's near me and do a nice little review of this bike and give you my thoughts and likes and dislikes. But unfortunately the weather is, again today, is awful. Strong winds, it's raining. So I thought to myself, it's not worth it, is it? You know, being blown around and everything else. So, okay. It's a little bit crowded here in the garage at the moment with all work going on with, you know, anyway, that's beside the point. This is about the Himalayan. Now, 1 year today, 1 year of ownership. Now, I was going to do reviews before this, and I thought to myself, the trouble is, you know, and please, I'm not knocking anybody here, but you get these people that, you know, they go to the local bike shop because, you know, they work hand in hand with them and a new model comes in and they take it out and they do a review. And that's fine, you know, that's great. But for me, you can't give a proper review just by riding any motorcycle or car or anything that's new for a short time, because, you know, one, you have to get to know the machine. You know, machines become part of you. You make the machine, you make the motorcycle to you, to how you want it. And plus the fact, when these bikes are new, you know, the difference between now and the day I bought this bike home 12 months ago is it's just, you know, it's like a totally different bike. So to give an absolute, you know, truthful sort of review of a couple of hours riding, you know, yes, they're telling the truth, I'm not saying that they're not, but you get where I'm coming from. So okay, 12 months down the line, so the day I picked this bike up, I'd sold a 650 Suzuki V-Strom, and I got this, and I'd made my mind up that I didn't want a powerful bike anymore. I didn't want to go speeding fast anymore. I just wanted a bike that was comfortable to handle, that was manageable, because, you know, I'm no spring chicken anymore, and with age comes different ailments and everything else. So I just wanted a bike that suited me. And I think any review of someone that's owned something, that's very important, because what suits me and what I think is absolutely fantastic, the guy next to me could have totally different ideas of what he wants, and he'll say, no, that's not correct. And I get that. So I'm giving you a review on this bike to basically my needs, to what I wanted it to do. So I got on it at the dealership, and the ride home was a couple of hours. And do you know what, I got to be honest, when I pulled up here in this garage, I got off this bike and I thought to myself, what have I done? I actually thought that, what have I done? It was slow, it was sluggish, it just, everything about it after 50 years of riding motorcycles was totally different, you know. I'm used to BMWs, Suzuki's, the big Honda sports bikes, all that sort of thing. And to come down to this was totally different. But I had this vision that I, as a rider, needed to change. I needed to be different in me. And so I needed a bike that fitted my needs. And do you know what? 12 months on, this bike fits my needs absolutely superbly. And, you know, let's start comfort. When you get on this bike, I rode this bike 6 hours virtually non-stop. I had a couple of P-stops, 6 hours, and you know what, it was great. It was great. It was comfortable. My BMW, my last BMW, the 1150 RT, if I'd have rode that for 6 hours, would it have been as comfortable? I don't think it would. So comfort, I don't think you can knock these bikes. Their point of gravity are fantastic. The point of balance, I think, are brilliant. You know, you can throw these around. You know, they handle superbly. Now, bearing in mind, I am not an off-roader. I don't off-road. So this is a pure bike to take me from A to B on my little trips, my camping trips, my days out and anything else. And it does it superbly. It handles beautifully. The fuel economy, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Okay, one criticism that I have of this bike, and it is a pain in the bum, it's the most awkward bike for getting on and off I've ever owned in my life. I don't know what it is, because it's short stocked, you know, because it's a short model, and it doesn't help with me having the top case on. You're very limited to get, you know, your foot over. I stand on the peg and I go over that way, you know, sort of stand there and I climb up here and I go over that way. That suits me fine. A lot of people say, oh, the pegs, well, the pegs are fine, believe you me. I'm no lightweight, me, you know what I mean? I bounce on and off that peg. It's brilliant. They're great. But they are an awkward bike to get on and off. But once you are on it, brilliant bit of kit. Okay. Build quality. Now, you know, again, you hear people knock Royal Enfield. I personally think Royal Enfield are a good, solid constructor of motorcycles. They've been going for years, haven't they? Let's face it, you know, years. And okay, yes, they're the cheaper end of the market. I understand that. But you know what, and maybe you do have to look after these bikes. They're new technology taken from the old style, which for me is brilliant. Working on these bikes, it's a dream. Basics, we're back to basics. You know, they're beautiful to work on. They're understandable. You can look after and maintain these bikes. So for me, again, ticks all the boxes. Brilliant bit of kit. Okay, but build quality. People knock them. You know, there's the RE haters out there. And maybe some of these are not haters. Maybe they're a little bit jealous. Maybe Royal Enfield are not as bad as what they're trying to make out. But maybe some of these haters are the people that, you know, you've got to have the badge. Do you know what I mean? It's like clothing, isn't it? You know, you've got to have a certain amount. You've got to walk around with a name on, or the trainers have got to have this on. Maybe the biker's got, when he pulls up at the bar or the local cafe, you know, yeah, Royal Enfield, it's not good enough. So he's got to have. I'm not saying that is the case for everybody, but I think it does play a bit of a part. Personally, for me, I buy a bike or anything, and as long as it does what I want it and it does it well, I don't care what it's called. I really couldn't give a monkey's what's on it, as long as it does what it's supposed to do. And I think Royal Enfield do. I think they're doing an excellent job. So yes, okay, people say, oh, the brakes aren't that good, and you know, brakes, well, I've never changed my brakes are fine, they stop me perfectly. I've not had a problem with the brakes. Would I upgrade them? Possibly I would, but it won't be until they need to be done. You know, the chain, when I bought this bike, you know, I looked at the chain and thought, oh my God, that looks cheap, that ain't gonna last. How wrong am I? You know, how wrong was I? This bike has done 3,500 kilometres now, and I've adjusted the chain once. you know, just once, and it's perfect. I look after it, you know, so I suppose that's got to help. But yeah, so I don't think that it's a low build quality at all. I really don't. Look after these bikes, they'll look after you. They will keep going, and you know, I think they're a bike to be proud of. I really do. I think they're comfortable. I think they're reliable. I think the fuel economy is absolutely great. I just, you know, I'm an RE follower. Okay, what have I done? Because again, you go out, you buy a bike or a car or whatever it is you buy, then it becomes yours. You personalise it. You do what you want to do, and that's all part. You know, like I said, this bike now runs superbly, absolutely beautiful. Comparing it to the day that I bought it home, I mean, like I said, I had doubts, huge doubts when I pulled up here. I thought, have I made a mistake? Am I going to be happy with this bike? You know, and like I said, 1 year on, I absolutely love it. I have no intention whatsoever. And of course, there's anybody that follows me, I've got the Meteor there, you know. If I thought Royal Enfield was no good, I certainly wouldn't have gone and bought another one. Things that I've done to mine. So let's have a quick look round it, shall we? Well, I had the supports put on from Royal Enfield when I bought it, and I've got the boxes that I put on. I put the top case on myself. I got that. I changed the rack. The rack that was with it I thought was pretty useless, so I changed the rack. I put some engine bars on, which you can see. I changed the filter for a BMC high flow filter. I put those bags on the side there. I changed the levers to short adjustable levers because that's what I prefer. I put on a few charging points and the little box of tricks that goes with it to do the electrics. Let's just walk round this way. What else did I put on it? I'm trying to think. I put on some lights, LED lights. I did change the bulb for an LED bulb, but then I changed it back when I did the Normandy trip to an Osram night breaker, because it tends to put out a bit more power. I put mirror extenders on. Put the mirror extenders on, which I do on all my bikes because I think it makes a big difference. And I changed the exhaust to a power range exhaust. And I think that's about it. So yeah, I personalised it how I wanted to personalise. It's all right. I'm just listening. Just have a look at this for not even 5 seconds. But you know what? That's why I didn't do this outside. Yeah, I don't know whether you're picking this up. That is awful, absolutely awful. And that's why this review is being done in the garage, which is a shame because it would have been nice. I'm luckily to live in a gorgeous location, but not in this weather. So that's it. That's what I've done to my Himalayan. Oh, I had the hand guards on. They were fitted when I picked it up. Right, I mean, that's it. You know, I keep it in pristine condition. I look after it. I service it myself. Criticisms I've got of Royal Enfield, and this isn't so much of them, but I think they should be more choosy with their dealers. My experience, I wasn't happy. The dealer I bought this bike off, I'm not going to go back there. Whether I lose the warranty or not, I want my bike to be looked after. I bought a new bike because I wanted it to last. I personally think the way it was being dealt with, it wouldn't have done, so it's my choice to do that, and it will be the same with the Meteor as well. But the Himalayan, you know, this model Himalayan, mine is a 2022 Euro 5 model. I I think it's great. Changing the exhaust and the air filter did make a difference. It didn't make any difference to speed. I don't want it to make any difference to speed. It made the bike run smoothly. It gave it a little bit more response through the gears, and that was great. And now it's done this mileage, it just sings along, and I think it's a beautiful bike. Speed, I mean top speed. I went to Normandy and I went down the main roads to Normandy. Again, I was pretty loaded up and it easily kept the 100 kilometers an hour, no problem at all. It was a nice riding speed. The bike returned, fantastic economy. The thing is, you know, before I got this bike, I didn't know much about Royal Enfields, so I listened to people, you know, that did the reviews, that sort of, and unfortunately there wasn't many around then that sort of did a long review like I'm doing now, that had actually owned the bike for some time. But there was one or two people, you know, that were starting to pop up. And, you know, I built up my idea of the Royal Enfield, what it was going to be like, from listening to these people. And yes, the thing I think that's important when you buy any Royal Enfield bike, I'm not counting maybe the Super Meteor, you know, the 600, 650, is it 650 in this, but certainly the Himalayan. It's not a speed machine, but it was never going to be a speed machine, was it? And I don't want it to be a speed machine. It does what I personally want it to do. I don't want to go, when I had my BMW and I used to tour around Europe, I used to get from A to B as quick as possible. You know, now I don't want to do that. I want to get from, you know, getting from A to B is part of my touring experience, seeing where I'm going and all that, and that makes it lovely. And because of that, I don't want to go on the main road, so I go on the side roads. And because I go on the side roads, I'm actually seeing some beautiful places that I never even existed, and I've been touring for years. So, you know, if you want a speed machine, you know, if you want to get on there and whack it down, no, the Himalayan, or most, I would say, of the Royal Enfield range is probably not for you. But if you want to get out there, get it, whatever you want to do, whether you want to go out camping, whether you want to just tootle around, these bikes are brilliant. I honestly say the bikes are great. The only two things that I would criticise these bikes is getting on and off them. And I know that is a problem for a lot of people, especially as we get older, you know, but trust me guys, trust that peg, you know, you can stand on that peg, you know. And the second one is, I don't think the dealership organisation, I think Royal Enfield need to get out there and sort their dealerships out. Again, my personal opinion, I could be totally wrong. You could go to a dealership that you think is fantastic, and if you do and you're happy with that, then so be it. That's absolutely brilliant. So for me, I will always fly the flag for Royal Enfield. I think they're a cracking bike. I'll stick with them. I think they're what I want. It's given me what I want. It's given me a huge interest again in motorcycles. You know, I love working on motorcycles. I always have done. But you know, the modern motorcycles of today, you have to be, you know, old school mechanics have gone out the windows. I can old school mechanic these, they're brilliant, you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing with these bikes, and it gives me that I'm part of my own machine again now. I'm part of working on it. I can take this thing apart and rebuild it, and it's not a problem, and it's great to be able to do that. It's great. But even if you're not, you know, even if you're I just want to maintain that, you can with these bikes. It's great. So Royal Enfield for me. We have the Thunder. So for me, Royal Enfield, I think you've done a fantastic job. Don't change what you do. Which, quickly touching on the new one, you know, the new Himalayan. yes, it had to come, didn't it? It had to come. I think Royal Enfield was under a little bit of pressure. People wanted the water-cooled version, you know, to make it that little bit more oomphy, which they've done by increasing, you know, the horsepower, and they've get a few more cc and all that. And yeah, it's probably going to be a brilliant bike, get it through its teething trouble, which all new machines have, and I'm sure it'll have one or two little bits and pieces go wrong. But Royal Enfield, as a company, I think they listen to the customers and they improve on by listening to them. And I'm sure that the new one will be a success for Royal Enfield. I hope it really will. Me personally, I wouldn't rush out because it's a new model. I'm happy with this one. I love my bike. I'm not going to rush out. I'm not going to go out and buy the new one just because, oh my God, it's a new model. Maybe one day when I'm really old and croakety and this bike is as bad as I am and I want a new motorcycle, then who knows. But for now, I have no intentions whatsoever of changing my bike. You know, I have 3 bikes now. You know, you've got old Gigi there, the good old Transalp, which again, you know, what a classic motor that is, and of course the beautiful Himalayan. And if I said to my wife, do you know what, I think I could possibly squeeze another bike, I mean, let's face it, if I really organised the garage, I think that we would be well and truly on our way to the divorce courts. She puts up with me fantastic and my little, you know, I think this is anyway, right, okay. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been as truthful from my point of view that I possibly can about the Himalayan. I think it's a fantastic bike. I love it to bits. So for me, it does exactly what I bought it for. I'm glad I bought it. I haven't enjoyed a motorcycle for so long, you know, and I've had motorcycles. I started riding a motorcycle from the age of 7 in my uncle's garage, you know, in the field opposite his garage. So I love these bikes. I love this bike. I think they're great. That's it. Otherwise, I'm going to ramble on far too much and take up far too much of you good people's time. Thank you so much for listening to me go on. I hope that I've been helpful in what I've said. If you're thinking to yourselves, oh, I don't know whether I like them, but I don't, get out there and buy one. You really won't be making a mistake. These bikes are brilliant. Right, I'll catch you in the next video. I keep saying it, every little one I do these days, I've got to get out there. The weather, you've just seen what it's like. I'm not going to ride in that, you know. I'm too old and I get too cold for this. Right, take care. Look after yourselves. If you like what I do, please subscribe to me. Hit the like button. You know, subscribe down below and stick with me. Take care. Have a good day. See you soon. Bye for now.